Welcome. My name is Menachem Creditor. It's my honor to serve as scholar in residence and rabbi for UJA Federation of New York. We bring you Torah and music, blessing, and community every weekday. We've been doing so since March 18th, 2020. Today it is Monday, July 6th, 2026. I'm thrilled to be broadcasting live from Jerusalem. I'm sitting at a lovely cafe right in the heart of Baka, a wonderful neighborhood here in Jerusalem where there are many, many tourists and many American rabbis gathering to do some good learning this summer, which I'll be joining them for later this week. I hope that you and yours are safe and well. Let's say hello to a few friends who hopefully are able to join the broadcast, as it truly is 9 o'clock in New York, even if it is 4 o'clock here in Jerusalem. It's good to see all of you. Adele, Boker Tov, nice to see you. Let's see who else is here. We'll say a few more Boker Tovs, and then we'll get started with some learning. Jack and Jonathan, it's good to see you. Okay. Linda and Cynthia, Patricia, Boker Tov, good to see you. You can hear the sounds of life all around me, and if I could turn the screen around, you would see such amazing things all around. I'll talk about them in a moment. Arlene and Lydia, Cecile, Stan and Andrew, Boker Tov. Let's sing a bracha. Let's learn some Torah. Ya la 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 la, today I la la la, today I la 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 la, I la la la, Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech haolam Asher kiddushanu B'mitzvotav tzivanu La'asok b'divrei Torah La'asok b'divrei Torah Hafoch ba v'hafoch ba La'asok b'divrei Torah Today I lie, 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 lie Today I lie, lie, lie Today I lie, 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 lie I lie, lie, lie. So good morning, everyone. Thanks, Penny. It's broadcast 1584. So just a word of where I am. Some of you heard me say this right when I began the broadcast. You can see that I'm in Jerusalem. The stones around show you, but so too the traffic that you're hearing. I'll just turn so you can see where I am. There are parents and there are children and there are people helping each other across the street and there are cars honking at each other. And I am so happy to be right where I am. I'm in the neighborhood called Baka. I'm on Derech Beit Lechem, the corner of Beit Lechem, and a street called Zerubbabel. And if you look closely at the street signs in this part of Jerusalem, all of the street signs reflect parts of biblical and Jewish history. Just yesterday I posted a beautiful set of street signs for Dinah, who is a child of Yaakov in the book of Genesis, and Rivka Imenu, Rachel Imenu, and also Yael, who is not Israelite, but she's in the book of Judges. I'm sitting, and it's hard not to be emotional about it, so why would I try? I'm very emotional about it. I'm sitting in the heart of our people with street signs in Hebrew, Arabic, and English, with people of many different kinds, blocks away from the Tachna Rakevet, the station that's now an interchange for Arab residents of Israel and Jewish residents of Israel. And there are many American rabbis who are here right now, ready to study as I am at the Hartman Institute, where I'll start some learning on Wednesday. When I can, I'll share some of that with you. But I'm just absorbing as much as I can, because this is what it is to be in touch with your heart and to feel the life force that is so often harder to feel, harder to see, harder to even believe when you're so far away. How many times when I was leaving for Israel did someone say, be safe? And of course that's true. I would never, never delude myself or misrepresent to anyone the fragility of life for a Jew anywhere, including Medinat Israel, and also what a thing to witness life. Incessant construction. The sounds of construction are everywhere. There is so much being built, including a light rail just 2 blocks of here, which will transform work for commuters who do their work in the city. And so what I want to do is reflect a little bit of Torah, but all I have to do to reflect Torah is show you the flowers around me, the reborn Jewish people that includes all of the traffic and the parking on the sidewalk, and the very yummy food at this lovely restaurant that I am blessed to be at right now. So, let's look at a little bit of Torah, and we'll wish each other a good day. I'm so honored to share this with all of you. I'm so grateful to UJA for granting me the privilege of being here to soak in this life force. I plan to bring it back with me with all of my strength and all of my love. So here we are at the end of the book of Bamidbar. The book of Bamidbar, the book of Numbers, includes rebellion and rebellion and rebellion, and then we get to this Matot-Masei double Torah portion that we read right now. And it includes many different facets. I want to deal with one today, a very simple one, though as you'll hear, it doesn't remain simple. It says in this week's Parsha, in the beginning of it, that when a person takes a vow, they must fulfill it. And then there's an expansion of what vows are included in this and what person is included. But I want to take the verse and 2 explorations into it that I was blessed to just review while letting all of this magical air into my lungs. You know you're somewhere holy when speaking about air and lungs and looking at traffic fills your eyes with grateful tears. So, hear this from an overwhelmed heart, struggling to remain linear with Torah, when I know that Torah's trajectory leads to this very reality. This might have been enough for me just to say, look where you could be and where I get to be and what we have helped build and what we are working to nurture and cultivate and repair and protect. It's so remarkable. All right, back to the Parsha. It's easy to be distracted. It's all good. So when the Torah says in this week's Parsha, when a person makes a vow, they must keep it. The language about this is fascinating because the rabbis, after the Torah, are very uncomfortable with the idea of taking a vow. Because what kind of vow are we talking about, first of all? What kind of elective vow would a person need to take? Now, the first level of this conversation, I'll leave to Rashi. Because Rashi is saying, you might think that this would pertain even to someone who vowed to do something forbidden, vowed to do something they weren't allowed to do. Oh, I just have to share. Isn't that beautiful? Okay. You might have thought that this would include someone who vowed to do something that they weren't allowed to do, something that's prohibited in the Torah. But if you do vow that you're going to do it, you would think that this verse says, well, you must fulfill the vow. Am I back online? Okay. Sorry, friends. I hope that it was uninterrupted. Someone let me know that we are still broadcasting in the midst of it. And I get to say happy birthday to Valerie. I didn't realize that it was your birthday. All right. So I'll just share one more moment of Torah before I lose the internet connection again. Oh, good. I see that we're still broadcasting. Rashi says that you are allowed to make a vow about something that you were otherwise permitted to do, but you probably still shouldn't do it. And then a much later commentator known as the Kli Yakar says there are different kinds of vows. There are vows we make when we're level-headed. I commit to ... But there are also vows that I commit to out of anger. And that anger, says the Kli Yakar, who's a later thinker, a philosopher, is something that would cause us to react and make a vow about. I'm so angry I blank, and that would commit me to a destructive path. And so what I want to do is reflect on what is permitted in terms of vows, and then also reflect the rabbi's discomfort. There is a galaxy of things that are permitted by Jewish law. We are not a tradition that is ascetic. We do not restrict ourselves from pleasure, we are part of a tradition that affirms joy, pleasure, and love. What does it mean to restrict myself from something that I'm truly permitted to do? The rabbis consider that, in the extreme, to be a holier-than-thou attitude, and that's not what we should be. The fullness of life and all of its joy and pleasure are meant to be part of what we experience. And so what I would invite you to do is think about this concept and obviously not make a vow to restrict yourself from joy, but to remember the rabbinic discomfort with that action. With saying, this world, so much of it is permitted to me according to my tradition. I don't want to miss any of it. I don't want to miss any of it. And so in that spirit, friends, what I'd love to do is just, as much as I can, share with you some of the sight in front of me. The honks of the horn, the streets of Jerusalem, trees and flowers, people, streets named for biblical icons, good food right behind me, and the chance through Wi-Fi to connect all of it to you wherever you are. Let's sing Hatikva, and let's remember within our singing this time that there is so much joy to experience in the world. And I'm so glad to be able to reflect to you what is so hard to feel when you're outside of this space. The simple joy, the quiet pace, the love. So let's sing. Let's sing with joyful hearts. And let's, if not vow, let's commit ourselves to allowing in the pleasure and the joy and the happiness. There's so much of it all around. There's no place like Jerusalem to remind you of that. Kolon baleva penima nefesh Yehudi homia ulefate mizrach kadima ayin letzion Sophia od lo avda tikvatenu hatikva bat shnot alpayim להיות עם חופשי בארצנו ארץ ציון בירושלים להיות עם חופשי בארצנו ארץ ציון בירושלים. Am Yisrael Chai. See you tomorrow, my friends. Bye.